do? Hi, everyone. The Trading Pit here with another live trading room with Samurai Day Trading. Today we have a different guest. We have here Cody with us. Cody's going to show us around. He's going to show us around the markets today. I won't take too much of your time today, guys, because Lachlan did text me earlier saying that the markets are, shall we say, bananas a little bit because we have a lot of things going on, trade deal, etc. So I am very, very excited to get started. Before we do, one real, quick plug. We do have the last 2 days of the futures promotion. So, guys and girls, keep that in mind if you're buying your futures challenge during the month of October. You are actually. Oh, hold on. There we go. You are
Hey
actually.
guys, I've lost sound, but I hope you can hear me.
Oh,
If you can
yeah.
give me a nod to make sure you can hear me loud and yep, cool. All right, I can't hear you, but you can hear me, so that's
We
the
can.
main thing that happens. Um, Couple little technical difficulties, more from my end, getting used to the new technology. So it's put me behind a few minutes, but that's okay. The good fun is we can always mark up charts together. I think there is a lot of learning to be taken from that. Not to say that the way I do it is the best way, but it's given me some success. And often the first thing that students ask us is, how did you draw your Fibonacci, stuff like that? How do you read the market? So I like to sometimes mark up one or two charts for you, and that way you can sort of see, or I talk about what's going through my mind, and you guys can sort of see how I understand and my approach to it. Now, that doesn't mean you have to do the same. Um, but it gives you a little insight of what I'm thinking, what I'm seeing. As mentioned, there has been some huge volatility in the markets very early. There's some news that came out, some expected, some unexpected, some expected unexpected. So the people in the know knew that this was coming. So I'm just getting a little final rundown on the markets, and then what we'll do is because there are guests in the room first time. Um, the trading pit allows us to sort of join forces with Samurai. So because they're our guests, we have to go through our compliance slides, which we always do on this session. But it's really nice to be here, being a part of the session. Usually Lockie takes it, but today I get to join in on the fun. So just bear with me while I finish this train of thought, and then we'll get stuck into the session. Because if I don't write this down now while it's on my mind, then I will forget, and that doesn't benefit either of us. It is a rainy day here in Bali. Well, it's been a beautiful morning, but we are entering the wet season, so it's a little bit miserable. I've quickly rushed back to the office to get ready. So for all of our Samurai Day Trading members, we are about to kick off our Platinum Retreat in Bali. And there's also people who are doing it virtually online. So welcome, or selamat datang di Bali, as we say here. So welcome to Bali. I've met a couple of the traders so far. They've come down. My new cafe happens to be situated 500 meters from where the retreat is. So I've happened to met some of the traders already, which has been nice. And I look forward to meeting the rest of you during the week. And if you are joining virtually, we look forward to seeing you on the screens. And if you're still interested, guys, reach out to Samurai for our next trading retreat in Platinum, both in person and virtually. If you are part of Samurai, guys, the hub, the weekly, monthly hub will be on tonight as well. As I said, let me finish this train of thought, then we can get stuck into the charts. If you do have questions, please put them in the chat. I'll get to them as soon as I can. If I don't get to it, I'm not ignoring you. I'm just either trying to do something else, but I try to get through all the questions as we can. All right. So we'll go through our compliance compliance team, please work for me. Okay. All right, that's a good start that's working now. Where's this one? I'm just trying to find where my chat is, my chat function. There's the chat. There we are. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay, cool. I've got my chat function up and running. Excellent. Just make sure my other chat function's up and running. So I don't want to miss anyone. Hide that. Cool. Awesome. All right, I think I'm good to go. All right, so live trading room, guys. We always find that we work better as a team. It's just a really good environment to encourage people, both as junior traders, people learning, professional traders. There is some very, very good traders in this room. And they still are happy to join the room every day, even though they make a lot of money by themselves, because they enjoy the camaraderie. I'd like to say they probably enjoy my jokes, but we know that's not true. But at least it keeps me happy if I tell myself that. So it's a really, really nice way to work as a team. It's a good way to learn. It also helps you build confidence both in your strategy and our approaches. And as moderators, there's nowhere to hide. We are using live markets, live charts. Okay, so what you see is what's happening. So I do my best, or we do our best to call what we see and help you guys out, sort of identify trades as much as we can and give you the pros and cons of why you should or shouldn't enter it. Usually it comes down to what's on your trading plan. So at Samurai, we run this 5 days per week, covering the Euro Open, and we also have a a US close session. We have a virtual LTR that we've been running now for a few months. It runs up to 20 hours per day, so you can work with traders, so you can chat amongst yourself, and it's I guess it's moderated by our algorithms, right? But it's more so you can come in a chat room with other people, like-minded traders, and sort of discuss what you're seeing and maybe take some trades together. But on Thursdays, we get to team up with the Trading Pit. Well, it's Thursday here in the world. So it's always a lot of fun. I love coming on here and sharing our stories. It's always some new, exciting people. All right. So foundations for success in trading: target a strategy that works in real time, build knowledge and expertise, and profit using that strategy. So really honing in on that one skill. Okay, this builds up really nice foundation for success. And the most important thing for me, it develops discipline and profit. So you can measure your performance. What I always think is what I love about trading compared to another job is whether you win or lose, it's most of the time your fault. So if you lose, generally it's because, hey, look, maybe you shouldn't have taken that trade. And if you win, it's like, well done, you did well. So that's what I love about trading. You don't have to rely on anyone else. Okay, now we do have to go through our compliance. All right, so Trading Pit does offer demo accounts or users in the challenges. All right, so trading does come with risks. All right. So all information presented on this site is for informational purposes only. Okay, should not be interpreted as financial advice. All right, just remember that results achieved in the past are no guarantee of future results. Okay, so it's really, really important to understand the risks that are associated with trading. Okay. All right, so we do carry margin and levels of risk. So it's not suitable for everyone. So please, as I always say, only be willing to put in what you're willing to lose. Obviously, we don't want you to lose, but this is not an investment consultancy agency. All right. All right. We are not financial advisors. All right. So any advice given is just general advice. All right. So please, I do not understand your personal financial situation. Take that into consideration with what you do. All right. Like I said, past performance does not equal future. Okay. This presentation, it's expressive opinions. All right. How we sort of identify what we're seeing in the markets. It's not financial advice. It's not investment advice. Okay. We're merely here to guide you in and out based on your trading strategies, based on our knowledge. We're trying to help you. All right. So there's no guarantee that any account will actually achieve profits or losses based on what we show you. purely because the markets can move so fast. All right, this is basically our experience, our worldly knowledge, and if you want to take some of that on board, then great, make some money. So who am I, guys? So my name is Cody. Okay, I used to be a physiotherapist in Australia. I'm now based here in Bali. So I worked with elite athletes and teams, including working with veterans and special forces personnel. So I essentially use physical and mental health exercise to treat physical and mental health issues. I've been trading for over 10 years now, but I'd say successfully for only two and a bit. Um, so I've had a lot of experiences. I've learned a lot of lessons the hard way. All right. So FDAX is my primary focus for myself, and I trade the Euro session. That's my favorite. I do like the US close, though. It's a lot of fun. So I'm a trading coach and presenter with Samurai, and I'm a trading mindset coach. So hence why I mentioned this part up the top. I've taken a real liking to understanding the psychology. Train, trade, travel is my motto. So I always talk about having like a little motto. Mine is train, trade, travel. That's my life motto. I do CrossFit and high rocks. I love to train, keeping active, and I love traveling and creating content. That's who I am. That's what I do. And I've got villas, cafes in Bali, and an app. So I like to keep very, very busy when I'm not traveling around. That's my puppy. That's my best mate. So I have a lot of fun. Okay. If you want to follow my journey, guys, I'm much more contactable on Instagram as opposed to Facebook. So you can reach out to me there. Always happy to meet new traders and talk. And a lot of people sort of go, what's your day-to-day life? And you'll be able to see it on there. All right. If you are watching us on YouTube, guys, check out Samurai Day Trading. We always put up a video sort of understanding our trade of the day. There's lots of little lessons on there, and it's slowly growing. So we do appreciate any support on that and any feedback too. Very, very happy with feedback. All emails, if you are interested in joining Samurai, just reach out to info@Samurai Day Trading. All right. And we'll hopefully guide you through there. All right. Cool. So what to expect, team? What we say is always let the market do the heavy lifting. So we'll go through a lot of candlestick analysis, delta trading, which is new to some people, but I'll talk you through that. Okay, big thing we like to look at is ratios as well. So the size of candles, whether it's bigger or smaller, and ABCs and steps. All right. So how my screen will be set up is you'll see NASDAQ and S&P 500. They work really well together. We have the FDAX, which is sort of the German 40, some people call, and FESX. So they work well together. Now, we don't trade the FESX, but we do use it as a bit of a guide. All right. So focus on what works. Let the markets do the heavy lifting. So like I mentioned, we do have our virtual advanced trading course coming up next week. And we'll do have people here in Bali for it as well, which is very, very exciting. All right, we've gotten rid of all that stuff. So let's have a little look at the charts. What I'm going to do for you guys is I'm going to mark up FDAX live. I'm going to mark it up in front of you. Like I said, we always get a lot of questions about Fibonacci, often when I'm coaching people. And just two, we are available for coaching, Lockie, myself, and Fred, if that is something you're after in your trading journey. But I'd say this is one of the topics we get asked a lot. So I always like to do one chart in front of you guys. So what I'm seeing here is I see a lot of sideways movements on the weekly chart on FDAX. Now, there's a couple of ways you can draw your fibs. All right. You can draw one down there to catch them on the way up. So if they do come up, potentially you want to see where they're going to fail. It looks like they're coming short a bit. So maybe I want to draw one both ways. So how I sort of see it is I'm going to put both on. I might even make this one a monthly color just so I can see where we're going or where we might go. I might make this my weekly just because I am moderating. I want to have all bases covered, so I'm not chopping and changing Fibonacci too often during our session, because believe me, when you're moderating, it can become very distracting, especially as you're trying to call some trades for people. All right, so this is going to be my daily fib. I'm going to draw them up to catch them on the way down. I can see it's honored that 50 really well, and that's 61.8. So for now, that's what I'm going to put on as my daily. Now, if we do start running back up to the high side, I've already got that one on drawn down to catch them on the way up. So I've already got that on. All right, so that 50 will be in the way, but you can also look to put this one on too in here. Okay, reason being it failed at that 90, it's pushed up to that 76 and failed. All right. Okay, now there might be another little one hidden in here as well. So that 50 could come into play. I think we've already got this one on there. So honor that 50 really well, almost touch that 76 within a couple of points. Okay, so there's other options there. We'll just see how the market goes. Right now, what I'm seeing is Europe's very sideways, and that's because FESX made big highs. So did FDAX, made its all-time highs a few weeks ago. So now it's come down and just going sideways in its MDI. All right, looking at the 4-hour chart now. So I'm starting to see some more retracements. Okay, this is your larger 4-hour one from here. Why? Because I honored that 76 really, really nicely. Okay, now this is my only little concern is if we do come up, we may have to draw another one here. So I think this could be a day where we just go 76 to 76. All right. There's going to be a tighter one in here. So that one, I'm probably going to make a 60-minute one. Just there. I'll make this a 60-minute. And I'm going to run out of colors. It's going to be an interesting day on the European market. So if we do go up, team, I need you to remind me or remind yourselves that we're going to have to put extra Fibonacci on. So this one here and this one here is going to be quite important as well. Right now, I want to keep it nice and tight in there. Okay, you know what I'm going to do? I'm actually going to, I really like this one. So I'm going to make this other one my 15-minute, just so I've got it covered. Like I said, when I'm moderating, I don't want to be chopping and changing, or I want to minimize how much I'm changing my Fibonacci. So unfortunately, I don't like making it messy, but some days you got to get messy. Now you can look at extensions. All right, so I can see A, B, C. So I can see that's where it failed. Now, why did it fail there, guys? I like to use a word called confluence. All right, we had a 1618. Okay, there was 76s on that 4-hour chart. We've got a daily 50 there too. So a lot of reasons for it to fail there. All right, now if we come back up, we're going to have extensions going the other way. All right, so we may have to put them on. Already there's one here. Okay, it's not really in play, I would say. I like it a little bit tighter. So I might put this on my 5-hour chart. 5-minute chart, not 5-hour chart. That'd be a bit odd. Okay, just so I can keep an eye on it. Now that's how I go through and mark up my Fibonacci. That's my thought process. All right. Obviously, when moderating, I put a little bit more on. It's sort of finding that balance between putting enough on so I can keep an eye on everything, but trying to keep it as tidy as possible. Now that looks a little bit messy for me, but I'll do my best to keep you informed. Okay. So let's have a little look at the American markets on the higher charts and do our market rundown. All right, so we can see that this week the market's made all-time highs pretty early on in the week. Okay, so it's really hard to find any retracements. So we're looking at extensions on the larger charts. Okay, what we did find was we set up really nice daily static bar reversals. So that's this short, what's a static bar reversal? It's when the candle stops and sets up a bit of a reversal signal, sort of like a doji if you're new to sort of our sessions, okay, or hammers or whatever you want to call them. Essentially big, strong candles. We can see it's run out of steam. But if we look at the volume, that's here. If I look at that volume, it used even more volume than the previous 2 days, this candle here, because that's the current candle. That's that one. This one is this one. It used a lot of volume and made a very, very small candle, which tells me, okay, the market might be wanting to turn. Now, typically, all right, that's sort of the shape we look for and the things we look for. Now, that's on a daily chart. So I see that and I go, oh, it looks like it's short. Now it's come up and made another high today because we had a lot of volume. Some unexpected news and announcements came out. All right, over the US. A lot to do with Trump meeting with President Xi or Z. in China. Bank of Japan also coming out with a few announcements, which sort of triggered the market too. Okay, so what it's done, if we look at the 4-hour chart, it's created that higher high. So we got a stair step. So the higher high now could set up really, really big shorts. Okay, but because we've also got that stair step down, maybe it wants to start stair stepping long. Yeah, Cole, it's a huge consideration. So what Cole has said, maybe they're getting ready to close the gap. There's a big gap here. Now, what I notice on US, good morning, Jurgen. What I do notice on US markets is typically they close the gap a lot quicker. So for me, this is a little unusual for the US markets to not have closed that just yet. Europe can take its time to close gaps. So it's not going to surprise me we do set up these big shorts to come down. We're also quite a long way from the MDI. I always find when we get a long way away, we have to start coming back towards the MDI or at least go sideways to allow the MDI to catch up. Okay. So that's pretty typical of the market. So we are getting a long way away from it on the daily chart. So I do expect it to come back a bit at some stage. So I can see now after that big move today, we're going a little bit sideways. So that's created the high volume and high volatility. All right, that's where all the volume is. So don't be surprised if we do go a little sideways now. Quite often after high volume or a big move on the American charts, they do like to go a little sideways. So again, this could be a day where it's going to be all Fibonacci and we just go 76 to 76 and just bouncing, bouncing, bouncing. So I hope it's not because it makes a lot of work for me. But look, if it honors our fibs and we can do a good job, get out with a bit of profit, then it doesn't really matter. So just keep an eye on your Fibonacci here today, team, because I can already see on the 5-minute chart and even the 15-minute charts, it's starting to get that little sideways or ranging is a term I like to use, and some of you might be familiar with, or consolidation. Okay, we start to see it up and down, just ranging. All right. Now we had a little look at European markets already. Let's put them in with the FESX. The FESX usually steers the market here, so you can see FDAX very sideways. FESX is trying to break out of that range. All right, so they're not quite in sync. Normally they are. Again, it's a long way away from its MDI. This is the MDI here, this ribbon. Look at the daily charts. I can see FESX is starting to look like it wants to melt. It's starting to set up these shorts, these very inefficient candles. Okay, FDAX is going sideways because it's waiting to see what happens with FESX. Normally they work really well in synergy if you haven't traded them before. So again, I look at the 4-hour chart, look at this range. Okay, try to break out here. There's a big gap down, but quickly came inside this range. If you can't see what I'm seeing, do you see what I see? Wasn't that a very famous song? I'm not going to sing it, but people are singing it now, I bet. There's that range, 4-hour range, okay? So FDAX came down again, failed at it. We just talked about that in our when we'll look at the analysis. All right, so it might want to push back up to the top of that range. Okay, this is what's also keeping FESX very sideways. All right, so again, FDAX pushed down, it hit multiple Fibonacci's down here, bounced back up. All right, so we're actually in longs. Now it might want to come up to the top of the range or it might want to go sideways in the MDI. FESX looking very, very sideways. So Europe, we could see a lot of sideways movements, and this is why I said early on, we might be going 76 to 76 on the markets today. All right. All right, team. I'm just going to grab some water. I'll be back with you in a moment. So to make sure my charts are moving, yeah, I'm live for you guys. Make sure everything's the same for you. It is for me. Yep, thank you. I think the last couple of times I've moderated, there was a day the market started running, and I'm like, geez, the market's gone quiet. And the people are commenting, oh, I got that trade. It's gone 20s and whatever. I'm like, oh, well, I'm glad you got money, but my market chart hasn't moved. All right. So if you've just joined us, guys, or if you're new here, or if you've forgotten, how I sort of run this room is I'll identify as many trades as I can across all the markets. I try and give you the pros and cons of it. Okay, so it's up to you on whether you take the trade. Now, everyone's got a different trading plan. That's why I identify what I can. But please only take the ones that are part of your trading plan. So, for example, if I call a static bar reversal off a pivot, but it's off a Fibonacci. Oh, sorry, if I call a static bar reversal off a Fibonacci, but you only take them off pivots, then don't take the trade or take it in sim. Okay, I'm going to identify a lot of trades. It doesn't necessarily mean you should take it. All right, so only take the ones that match your trading plan. All right, nice work. Yeah, so we're going to have to put some more. This is where it's going to get a little messy today. I'm really sorry already. It is going to get messy. So Nasdaq, if you push up, you're going to have a failure there, maybe at that 76 at 295. Now, if I move that along, if I'm moving a little bit tighter, you're at 76s now, I believe, or you're just above it, so at 90s. Okay. Now, some traders love that, some don't. So it's starting to run. So I might put this one on, the large one on for us. Yes, similar sort of pathway for you. These 76, if it pushes up there and fails on the opening candle, it's going to be beautiful. Now, opening candle is probably the riskiest candle we trade the whole session. It can be very, very rewarding as well, hence why some people absolutely love it. But if you don't trade the opening candle, then just sit on your hands for the first 5 minutes or take it in sim. But I'll do my best to identify what we're seeing. So ES, there's going to be two options. You're going to look up trade and fail at this 76 at 9:30, or you're going to look for the higher 76 at 32.50. So push into there on the opening candle and short. Okay, this is looking a little messy, so I'm just trying to guide you the best I can. FDAX, I don't like the pre-top just yet. I need it to come and close down a little lower. Then it can push up and fail both at a 133 and the pre-top, and that'll potentially give us a nice short there, especially if FESX can then fail at its pre-top at the same time. Just trying to find some extensions. I know traders love 5-minute extensions. We didn't quite close our gap on DAXI, did we? Or we did. We got 1 point away from closing it. Correct, yeah. We got a little extension here, 5-minute one. Okay, so that's going to line up with sort of the 141, that 133. So DAXI, opening candle, you're going to look for a push-up, potential short under the pre-top if it fails. Otherwise, let it push up and fail at 314. Okay, and you can take it off 314, 312. Just a bit of confluence there. Okay, so I'll leave that on for you. Backup trade, if it fails, you can look to take this SPR short as well. If we do shoot down, team, there will be a little bounce off the 50. I'd be careful with that. The open and PP will offer better trades, just a little bit stronger there. Okay, but the pre-bottom and gap will have the most support. We'll also have 76s and other bits sitting there as well. As a bit of rejection. All right, so let's just sort of see how this market opens. And normally we wait a minute and for the candle to go climactic before putting an order on. Yes, you know what you're doing. You're looking at this 76 or the higher one. Nasdaq, you're looking for the higher 76. If possible, if we shoot down, look for the gap or the PP. Same with ES. All right. So didn't quite get the pre-top touch yet. So you need to push up. FDAX, I'm not sure if anyone would take it. There's a little short underneath the previous candle. Okay. So you could have picked that up and gone short, which is also the previous static bar. So if it pushes up, this is your backup trade, this short under this static bar. Yeah, well done, guys. So someone did take it. Well done. So you went, entry would have been at 83 or 84. And you've picked up fives or tens there. Yeah, well done, guys. Now, FESX is starting to melt down, so just keep an eye on FDAX. Oh, fair enough. Keep an eye on FDAX. FESX, where are you going? You might be at a 76 now, because normally these go in sync. There's a big rejection. So I've got a 76 there that FESX is bouncing off. This is going to get messy, so I don't want to keep that on, but there's a 133 there as well on FESX. All right, so it's failed there. All right, it's now closed the gap. So it might bounce here, which will cause FDAX to bounce. Now, if it doesn't bounce and keeps wanting to melt down, it's eventually going to drag FDAX with it. And I think FDAX may want to come down, but we will see. All right. Just bear with me. Nothing here. Yes, you're almost at the 76, but we're starting to run out of time. Where are you? Just adjusting in the background. Yeah, I think this is a good one just to sit out for now. There's nothing really happening. ES didn't hit the 76 like we wanted. FDAX, NASDAQ, sorry, didn't quite get high enough for me, personally. All right, last 90 seconds, so last minute even, we don't take a trade. So DAXI, oh, you're starting to get a bit of movement now. This might melt. So let's just hold off. This is why we don't trade. Well, you wish you're still short. Nazi, wow, that was a big hit. Was it? There wasn't news that came out then, was there? That was a really big sudden hit. There was a little bit of Spanish and Swiss news, but it's just odd that it came through in the last 30 seconds. Now, Nazi, it's going to be hard to send you short into the top of the MDI, but look, if you don't worry about the MDI push up, you can take these deltas short for 10s or 20s. Okay, we might be getting a melt FDAX, a bounce off the PP. Sorry, I was a little slow to call that. FSX, you're going to look for a bounce off the pre-top or gap. Okay, NASDAQ, just careful because of that MDI. If you're a bit cautious, you can go over the top of the open. For FDAX traders, we're going to have a climactic reversal as well at 54 now that we've got failure. The failure is also coming on at FESX. Oof, I feel like a race caller. So push down, just a little bit careful on this. Yeah, if you went off the PP, well done. Wow. So bounce off the PP again, potentially for some traders. Struggling to manage this in the background. All right. Nazi, you could be bouncing off some Fibonacci here. So last 90 seconds, team, so we're not taking any trades. Let's just wait and see how these close. FDAX, we want you inside the PP if we're looking for a reversal. Preferably FESX inside its pre-bottom two. If you're long on FDAX, good job for holding. We may be getting SBRs off pivots now. Okay. All right, so I had a little technical issue in the background on my own trade, so I'm happily out of that now. All right, FDAX. Now what's going to happen, you're going to get an SBR long. Now, because you've got a green delta long there, you may get in a little bit early. What I'd like to see is a push down first, failure. Preferably it pushes down and touches the open. Then you can look to go long at 255. The traditional entry will be at 257. Okay, if we push down a little bit lower, okay, some of you look for the lower low and long off the PP. That would be the more ideal trade, to be honest. Otherwise, just look for a little retrace rejection. You can go long at that 257 mark. Okay, we're looking a little bit messy here on the American charts. So ES, this is what I warned about. We might go a little bit sideways here on the Americans. You do have a long setting up. Preferably what you want is a lower, got fat fingers today, a lower low and long off the pre-top. Now, my concern is we're going through the middle of the MDI, all right? And like I said early on, we might be going very, very sideways. Now, NASDAQ, you got a similar trade, so pushing down, I'm going to remove this fib just because it's getting a little bit messy in there. Push down, look at failure at this 50. Again, maybe you want to go long, okay? Just watch out for that 50. That's another 50 there. So like I said at the start, we might be going from fib to fib today, which is my only concern with the charts. Now, FDAX, there's your push down. So now that you hit the open, you do have permission to put your order on the delta or above the candle. Now, there'll be some traders who will be looking for a slapping and going long at 49 or 50. Now, that's completely up to you. What you want to see is a slapping or a technical. That's a very technical term for a big rejection. All right. And FESX go as well. Now, there's a push into the PP. So an order off the open is valid. Okay. I like a lower low. So I want it to make a lower low. Then I'll be putting an order on above the PP at 41 or 42, which is also a 76. I look at the 76 just there. There's that one there. If you draw it off the pre-box, it's sitting there as well. So we do have some larger confluence. If I draw it further down, you can see the PPs are 50 as well. So if you went off the PP, I didn't get the lower low like I wanted, okay, but it's gone. Now, if you're off the open, you're in about 3s or 4s. I want this to pop for you. If you're looking for the higher entry, we want this to go quite quick. FESX is getting some rejection. Okay, there's the lower low on NASDAQ. Some of you may have gone off the pre-top. The 50 entry can be put on now. Same with ES. You've got your lower low, so you may want to go off the pre-top. Well done, those who went off the PP. All right, looks like the open trade isn't quite through target yet. It may have touched target. Not quite through there yet. The climactic reversal trade eventually paid. This is why I like lower lows, because the lower low really signifies a lot, and rejection signifies a lot of power. Shame. Steven will get it back. So it's coming down. It's touching that 76 now. Now maybe it's playing a lot. Oh, maybe it's playing a larger game. There's that 76. It might bounce off there. ES is looking at its PP. So big rejection there on FDAX. I just saw out of the corner of my eye. All right. So I think it's gone. It's touched 5s. I wanted to pound through and really bounce long. I think it might go now that FESX has had some big rejection. So if you went long, NASDAQ off the 76 is well done. I think I was a little slow to call that, but we did see the failure there. It's gone through 20s. ES didn't quite touch its PP. All right. Again, that went through. I saw it went through 5s, maybe 6s for some traders. On FDAX, I'd love for it to get back up to the 50, just so I know everyone is out. All right, Nazi, we're going to hold on. Just hold off, because we are entering the last 90 seconds. We don't take a trade. We like to sort of wait and see how the market's going to close. All right, NASDAQ, there's a larger 50. Now, this is always my concern. We're in the middle of the MDI. It doesn't behave as well. We've got ES failing at a PP. So how I like these trades is a lower low than long above the 50 for NASDAQ, especially if we want ES to close above its PP. If it closes above, we look for the lower long above the PP. It's going to be quite nice. If both markets close below, then it's going to be looking maybe more short than long. Both candles have set up shorts with deltas underneath. That's those red poking out to the right side. But you can see that big turn already. Why? There's probably a lot of stops under here for NASDAQ. FDAX, that's a really big gap up. All right. Now, some of you are going to see this failure. If it pushes up and fails at these fibs, some of you may put an order on here. All right. Now, the issue is the lower OSR is there. So that's the range of the first 15 minutes. Okay. So there's that failure. Now, this isn't for everyone, but some will be looking for an order around 38, or they'll be putting one here at 37. Now, this is just something we've been talking about recently. All right, this is not a live account. This is something I'm just testing. So those who know what I'm talking about, just keep an eye on this. Maybe take it in sim. This is the one we're testing as a group. So here comes NASDAQ, big rejection. Yep, some went long off the 50 and got paid, so well done. Some are now looking short after that big rejection. So we got that rejection, you picked up the short, and I think it's already gone 20s. ES, you need a melt for any. See, ES has got the 76 in the way, and that's why it didn't hold. So some have gone long, picked up 20s or more on NASDAQ, and some took that short for 20 ticks as well. All right. Move very quick in both directions. All right, so now if you were looking at going short under the candle here, like I mentioned, I'd take my order off just because we're going way too far here. All right, so the SBR finally triggered. We probably couldn't have taken it purely because of the risk. We closed over pivot, so it's a little hard to send you long on that. I think the markets are behaving a little, I don't want to say erratically, but a little bit off sorts today, out of sorts today. Just that unexpected news during the week. Welcome, Michael. It's not fun, mate. Yeah, I'm just going to check the chat for questions. Big reminder, we do for Samurai members, we have the Global Support Hub on tonight. So if you need the link, just reach out and we can send it through in the chat. What we're talking about is small chart, large chart combination trading. Bali is hot. Oh, it's actually cooler today. Yes, Michael. Yeah, it's really important to have that open. All right, so we'll wait for these candles to close. Yes, it's going to get potentially a really nice static bar reversal. Now it's going to, if it closes inside the PP, you can look for the long. Okay, we'll get Lockie to put the link in the chat and see if that helps. Now, if it closes above the PP, you can look for longs. If it closes below, you probably want it below the 76, okay, to entertain any sort of short. All right, Nazi, you're going to get a SBR long. All right, so you can look for a push down. Now you can go, or not with that hit, you can go long off the 50. All right, my concern is the bottom of the MDI. All right, but the way this is reacting, I think it's going to continue short now. The buyers tried to push it up. They had a really good go, and then they've just been slammed in the last minute. Now we might see a bit of a fall. So ES, you may look for a long off the 76. It's going to be a very tight trade. Okay, very, very tight. Lower, low, and long. You want to see a rejection. NASDAQ, that's a 50 there. That's a 60-minute 50. So again, you can look for a push down the long off that if that is your trade. And now we're setting up those static bars off the body. So off the body entries, please, for American markets. Thank you. There's SBR reloads long from over this side too in the pre-market and over here. So thank you for that. Now at FDAX, what have I got for you? Your volume's still quite good. So some traders are going to be looking for this high and short, a short off the 76. That's not an efficient candle, so it's hard to send you long. These deltas are valid long, but I prefer them when they're with an efficient candle. So if you're going to take it, I'd like to see a push down first and then go. You've also got a 60-minute 50 hiding in here. I know it's a little bit messy, but you got a 60-minute 50 hiding in there. So it may have failed off that, so it's hard to send you long into that too. So a little bit of a tricky game. It might go without me and make me look like a fool, but that's the pros and cons of the trade. Okay, so the first delta is the one you want to take if you're going long. Now, there will be some traders who are going to go short underneath this. And I think it'll come down to at least 67. It might just go. It's got every right to go. NASDAQ, if you took the SBR off, now we said it's going to go off the body of the candle, you've been paid. Same with ES. The concern was the pivot. So we had the pros and cons of that trade too. NASDAQ was valid. ES was not because it was straight back into the PPs, which makes it hard to trade, but both have paid. So some are happy, some aren't, but some stuck to their trading plan and didn't take a trade, which is okay. Yeah, so if you took the V2 long, you've been paid. Now there's going to be people who are looking to come short. It got within 1 point of that 76. So fortunately, it didn't touch it, but some people have a sort of 1 point, what do you call it? Variation, leniency. So they've gone short off that, and I know someone is short off that personally, and they're through 5s and 10s. So well done. Hello, guys. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, this is the day. These are the days where I think we're going to go sideways. I said this at the start. Might be a day we go 76 to 76. So it's fun for 76 traders. It's a moderator's nightmare because you're constantly changing Fibonacci and your charts look messy. So there's that hit we were talking about. So we said you might be short off the body underneath the candle, 69. And that is paid. All right, so we had the gap up. It gapped up to 70. So I said some people might look for the push up and short. Failed, and it's come all the way down to the 50. Some went short under the 50 and have been paid. So we've had traders that went long. Okay, they've been paid really well. Some took a bit of leniency, went short off the 76, was also pushed into these areas where it previously went short, these static bars here. But the one that I identified and was probably a little bit more confident on was the short either at the 50, just there underneath there, or underneath the body of the candle. And those have paid. So That's the one I've been talking about, you guys. We tried to do it here. Okay, it didn't work. It didn't pick up our trade, and it's done exactly that. But it was more of a 50 than a pivot, so prefer the pivots. Now FDAX, you do have a short. Okay, the issue is the top of the MDI. The traditional entry is at the 50 of the day, so we can't send you short there. Off the body is okay, if only if that is part of your trading plan. It may have been Daniel. That is a lucky question because I'm still learning those ones. For me, it needs a little step, so it needed that high, then failure again. It may have been an ugly one, not quite a textbook one, but certainly reversed well. Now, I think what the safer trade for FDAX did it. Okay, maybe it was then, mate. Yeah. The safer trade for FDAX is push up and failure at the 76 and short again. Or now we've got the push up and failure. Maybe you want to go short underneath the 50. Okay. So you go there or 1 point underneath. Some of you may look for the option there as well. So it really depends on your trading plan. Okay. How you want to take that trade. What's supporting is FESX is back into 76s. All right. You got multiple 76s there. This isn't a live account. I'm just merely showing you potential setup that I'm looking at the moment. Again, like I mentioned before, I'm only taking those sorts of trades in sim as I test something out, but I like it off pivots, not Fibonacci. Now, American markets, you have very efficient candles long. How do I know that? That's 8 times because it's 8 times the size of the previous candle. All right. Same with that one. That's 32. That's easy because that was a doji, so it was always going to be efficient. So a little retrace rejection. You can look to take it a little long. The issues with the long, you got Fibonacci there, so it looks like it may have failed at that. And 2 is the risk. So the risk, you're looking at 80 to 90 ticks, which is going to be too much for a lot of people. Now, if you can get a little off this delta, yes, you're in the pre-top in the middle of the MDI, which deters a lot of people. If you picked up that, you've been paid. If you go off the body, you've almost been paid. Just watch out for this 50. If it wants to burst through, then great. It might reject off it like it just did then. ES looks like it's trying to go long. If it wants to go long, then it's going to drag NASDAQ with it. So I hope that's clear for everyone. I'm trying to give you the pros and cons of every setup. Now, FDAX, look, it's got up to that high again. We didn't quite get the 76, but look, it's just hit that and gone short really, really hard. So if you did manage to take that, like I said, some traders have 1 or 2 point sort of tolerance on an area. So that's 76. They might have went, right, I'm going to go 1 or 2 points underneath. And they've been paid twice already. Completely valid, Michael. If you have any questions, guys, send them through in the chat. If you need me to go through anything, let me know. All right, there's that rejection again. So we're setting up another potential short on FDAX. Okay, we're struggling to go up. So you may look for a push up and again short off the 50 or off the body there. Okay, that's good. It's nice speed. Just careful that 50 the day. Nazi, you've set up shorts too. All right, so we looked at, we pushed up. Now we failed at previous areas. We couldn't take it because it was the last bit. You could be going short now and you're already through targets. FDAX, you're through targets. ES was a little slow to get to you, but you had the same setup once you close underneath those pivots. It's more of a continuation trade short. What do I mean by that? We had the stair step going down. We pushed back up. Okay, we failed. So now we've created a new stair step short. So that's coming short really nicely on pretty much all markets. So this is that one that I was talking about, guys, where it's gone really well. Oh, wow, I wish I took it. Yeah, agreed. Sometimes when you moderate, you start hesitating a little bit. Because this is annoying, is when I'm in a trade, I'm very much distracted, especially if it starts going against you a little bit, or if you need to manage it. Well done, Daniel. You're reading the market really well today, mate, and being rewarded for it. Now, this might bounce long on Nazi. So it previously failed at this 50. It's got an SBR reset, so it might bounce here. Look, keeps failing around this area for whatever reason. Whatever reason, it keeps being held around that area. So some have bounced off that 50 now. They're probably picking up 10s, maybe 20s. ES is bouncing off its PP. Looks like it may have just gone 4s. Which one was that, Daniel? Which one did you start testing? Oh, the double SPI, yeah. Wow. Now we can see it bouncing off the open FDAX. So look at these bounces. You can see our Fibonacci and pivots are working really well. FDAX failed, so we had dual signals to go short there after failing at two different Fibonacci. It's come all the way down, bounced off our pivots. So that's just the open. So everyone in the world can see that one. All right. Now NASDAQ failed at our Fibonacci here. Came all the way down and failed at the 50 again and has bounced. So this is why I do like to draw my fibs. Now it is a little bit messy today. I said it could be messy, but this is the reason why I've got them on. So FDAX, you're going to look for a lower low and long off the open. Otherwise, if it pops up, you can look for a high and short under the 76 or the 50. Okay. Volumes. I think it. Yeah, I've got a 50 hiding there as well. There's quite a few things it's bounced off. All right. What else have we got? Nazi, you got options here. Same with the ES. Now the issue is it is very sideways, but look for a push down fair at the 50 again and long, or this 50 up here, and you can go short. ES push down, you can go long off the PP. It's hard to send you long back into the gap and that. Yeah, I think I'm definitely. It could be. It's just so sideways. It's so sideways in the middle of the MDI. So not that I trade head and shoulders. It is a pattern that people identify. Um, Eventually, these Fibonacci aren't going to hold. So it's going to burst through one way or the other. But right now, it's very sideways, very, very sideways. Yeah, I don't like to trade. I'm not a pattern trader. It's good to identify because there are people out in the world, but my good friend, he goes, mate, trading patterns are just like a modern day horoscope. And I really like that. They're nice if there's other things supporting them, but not on their own. This volume's really slowing down on all markets. All right. Last 90 seconds, we're not going to take any trades. FDAX, your volume's quite low, so unless you pick up in the last 90 seconds, we're not going to take anything on you. Even American markets, your volume's starting to get a little low. And your price action is so sideways, I just don't like it. Really don't like your price action today. I mean, it's been great for those trading off fibs. People have made a lot of money, but nothing super clean that I can get everyone into. So there's a lot of news after our session today, quite scattered. There's a bit on the turn of the hour. Got some German news on the turn of the hour. So 5 minutes before and on the hour. German news is usually the one that affects the European session the most. It's not red flag, but who knows in the current geopolitical climate. This rainy weather makes me tired. And then up until sort of the US Open, got a bit of Italian news. We've got some red flag European news. And then there's a bit of scattered yellow flag news during the US sessions tonight if you are trading those sessions. So just watch out for them. I don't trust yellow flag news anymore. I think the last, probably this year. It's been so variable. All right, Daxi, nothing for you because of your volume. and in 8 seconds, your volume is already a third of the previous candle. So if it does shoot up and you get some really nice volume, you can look for those previous trades we discussed, lower, low, and long off the open, or higher, high, and short off the 76 or 50. I'm just not confident with the current volume. Um, American markets, you're too sideways for me. I haven't. We've still got those same trades if you want them. Higher, high on that 50 and short, lower, low on this 50 and long. The issue is the MDI. That MDI looks flat. So to me, that's telling me the market is ready to go sideways for a little bit. Here comes that injection of volume. So some traders looking to go short here. Eventually this 76 won't hold though. There's that higher high, short, and it's paid. Exactly what we said. So we said if the volume does get up, that's much better volume. Look for the higher high, made the higher high off the Fibonacci. Short would have been at 85 or 84. It got down to at least 77. So everyone's out for fives if you took it. Got the global hub meeting tonight for Samurai traders, so feel free to tune into that a little bit later. If you need the link or if you'd like to join, guys, we can put the link in the chat. Just let us know. If you don't want the link, then that's fine. Yes, I think you're right too, Andy. I think it was a little ugly, and the volume sort of made us a little bit sheepish. All right. So we're going to enter the last 15 minutes now. Traditionally, it's more European centric, but we don't take trades in the last 15 minutes. American traders, there's that touch at the 50 now. So last 90 seconds, we don't take it. We weren't liking the price action. Now you're going to get a long setting up if you want to take it. It might not be efficient. You take the V2. The issue is also the risk. Looking at 80 ticks. Yes, your risk is okay, but now we've got to look at what we're into. You draw it down. You're only one times efficient. So I don't like one times efficient. I like a minimum of two, preferably three or more. We're at a 76, but a push down, it's gapped over it. You look to take the delta long. Yes. Let's have a look at you. You're. Take that one off. You're right into your old 50. So this one here. All right. Session gets a little quiet now. Oh, it's quiet here because I haven't got my music on. That's why. Now it's coming short. So some traders have paid long, some got paid short off the 76. ES, I think the same, but it's a little bit riskier for you. Just into a little bit too much. Still very sideways, so it's not going to surprise me now if Nasdaq then comes now back down to the MDI. FDAX volume's disappearing again. All right, so we're not taking any trades. We're going to wait for this candle to close. Last 10 minutes, we normally don't take a trade anyway. Nice. Well done. Little push up and failure. There's a 90 there too. Not sure if anyone's trading this candle. So after this candle, we got news on the next two candles. So your questions or want me to go through anything, team? This is the sort of the perfect prime time to ask. And if you're new here, welcome, welcome. If you're joining us from TTP, thank you for joining in. This is something we've been doing for, well, I wonder how long it's been. It must be a year now, but it's been a lot of fun. Um, you've hit some very big trades then, Keith. Well done. I think it's 1 day past, but anyway, well done. Doesn't matter what funding platform you're with, it's always exciting when you trade past your evaluation account. I know TTP has some great specials on at the moment too. Maybe some more coming up. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. I think funding has really changed the game for trading for everyone. It's really incredible. All right. So there's going to be news coming out in 90 seconds or so. My pleasure. Happy to help. I'm glad you get some value out of it. All right, no trades. This is the one candle you just never trade. The last 5 minutes of the hour. This is when the market can just do whatever it wants. It's supposed to be some news now. All right. Well, it's been a very uneventful news candle. There's more news on the next candle too. Orange flags, maybe a little bit more exciting. And Italian yellow flag. Yep. I'd be a little bit careful just taking the next candle, just in case the news is a bit does something. But no doubt, Nasdaq, you're going to be setting up shorts underneath the 76. Okay, if you push all the way up, you can look for shorts up here at 26290. Once it fails, I'd rather it push through than fail. Then we can enter. Yes, you're getting too tight. I really don't like ES's price action today. I'm sorry. And FDAX, you're coming down. You may bounce off your 50 to go long. Otherwise, wait for it to push up to the pre-top, the upper OSR. There's a 133 there. Lots of different things there, and you can look to go short underneath. So 100 there. Okay, here's that news coming in a little bit twitchy. So short off the 76 has been paid on Nazis. You might see a little higher than a short off the 76 also. ES is into pivots, but I just don't like ES at the moment, so nothing really for you. FDAX, we could come down. You could look for a lower long off the open, or all the way down long off here. Just be careful on this. It may be jumpy. If I draw this the other way. It's just so messy, isn't it? The markets are a little bit confused. All right, team. Oh, well done, Jess. So push up failure and then short under the 50. Beautiful trade. Here we go. Some traders will be looking for a long off the open. Now, I'd prefer a lower low, but no doubt it's pushing into a 76. If there is an opportunity to go long off the open there. I prefer the lower lows at the extremities, but yep, there's a lower low now. So someone will be looking at an entry at 49 or 50. Okay, keep an eye on that volume. What's FSX doing? Might want to come down to previous failed areas. No, so that's a 90 failure. I don't know if anyone would have taken that. FSX is off its gap and PP. There comes FDAX. Now I was watching that, and now that 2 points, that's why I like the 2 points above the pivot. It wouldn't have picked me up. I don't even think 1 point did. And this is that news candle that we said it might be a little bit funny. Okay, FDAX is now, FESX is failing a previous 76. Failed it there earlier in the session. Okay, it might come down to its pre-bottom now. FDAX, there is a long off the PP now, but I'd be waiting for the candle to close. Now that we're climactic. So Nazi, if you did go short off the 76, you've been paid. Or off the 90, you've been paid. Like I said today, we might be going fib to fib, 76 to 76. I think. And Nasdaq's been sort of like 50 to 50. Oh. Now, FDAX, depending on how you close, if you close inside the OSR, little push down, you might look to go long around 30 as an OSR reversal. It'll be a climactic reversal too, if that's your trade. Some will look for a push into the pre-bottom and the gap. Okay. And that'll be the long. Technically, no. Hard to send you long above the pivot FDAX, but there is a climactic reversal there. Just watch out for the PP. I'd prefer it to push down first. I think the gap pre-bottom looks a little bit better. NASDAQ, you can look for a push up again and fail that 76 or the 90 higher up, or the upper OSR higher up. A little push into the PP. This might come short still. Wait and see. There is a climatic reversal, but you're going through a 50 and the PP, so just be careful with that one. But some traders don't mind, so they just see a climatic reversal, order goes on. Now there'll be some traders who look to go short under the PP. Now that's pushed up and failed, they'll be short about 39. So be a mixture of results here. Is the on Michael on FDAX. Not from my understanding. Again, I'm still learning it too. This is a new one to me. Oh, I guess it kind of is because it's failed up here. Yeah, so it probably was. But it was that one there. There's that PP. Someone short off the PP picked up 5, someone gone long. But yeah, it wasn't a clean trade for either. Lockie, if you're in here, is global hold on 1 hour after we is on in 1 hour, so 30 minutes after we finish. Yeah, I believe that's correct, Anna. So it's 30 minutes after the end of the session. Well done, Keith. Nice work, Daniel. All right, FDAX, you've actually got a static bar reversal long off a pivot. The issue is going to be your volume now. Lower low, you can look to go off the body or above the PP at 42. Otherwise, you look for the entry at 45 off the body. The traditional entry is going to be at 56 though. Now, Nazi, there's that push into the upper OSR and short, like we said. Now it's gone probably a little bit too quick for a lot of us. It's unfortunate. Wow, lower low again on FDAX. Some will be looking for the OSR reversal or the gap and pre-bottom reversal, depending on your trading plan. Volume's a little low, so some might not take a trade at all. Nasdaq for me, it's gone already. So look, a higher high and a failure. I'd like a convincing failure. Yes, you can go short, but it looks like it's already taken off without us. Wow, that's jumpy. So there's the lower low on the gap and pre-bottom. Someone will be looking to go long at 23 or 24. That was very jumpy though. Low volume is the issue. So low volume is my concern with the longs. I just want to make that clear. But there's certainly a lot in the way. There's 76s there. There's double pivots. So theoretically, usually this would bounce and go really, really nicely for us. When there's such low volume, sometimes it just doesn't get the bounce like it normally would. That's always the issue with low volume trading. FESX now bouncing off its pre-bottom. So I hope that was enough warning. It may still bounce here if you are long. My concern. Daniel, mine is over 300. I've noticed recently, though, the DAX gets down around the 250s quite quickly compared to, I'd say, 12, 18 months ago. So, and quite often we're trading in the 200s. So I'd say my adjusted volume would be 250 plus. 300 was the cutoff, but certainly under 200, it's almost a no-no. It just doesn't move as well. It really doesn't. But it used to be 300. Yes, a lot of slip. It doesn't have the ability to bounce. So if you look at Fred's session in the US close, if you ever trade that NASDAQ, he trades a lot of bouncing moves. So as soon as it touches this 76, you're in and it bounces. It's got that volatility and that volume to really hit it and go back the other way sharp. Then it might pound through the other way, or it might go long. You really need that volume to get those hard bounces. Yeah, exactly, Carlo. Oh, the volume for NQ. I'd say the cutoff's 300 for me. But even under 400, I'm starting to question it a bit, Carlos. No, good question. No problem. This is just my observations. So you can test it if you want. But like the previous candle was a reversal candle off a pivot. It should have at least gone the other way a bit. It didn't. This one should have bounced pretty hard. It's gone through two pivots, almost three pivots, 76s, and still we haven't seen anything. So yeah, they just act a bit differently. That's okay, as long as we can identify that. So adjust some fibs in case we do melt. All right, so we've gapped inside the gap. So some will look for a push down the long above the candle. Now just watch that volume. Okay, I prefer lower lows, and I don't like it when it closes on and gaps above, or closes above and gaps down onto. So I don't take any of these trades personally. That's just me. Nasdaq, you're a little too sideways for me still. Messing in that. ES, absolutely nothing. Only thing for Nasdaq is a push up and a failure. Yeah, no problem. Have a wonderful night. I think it's night time where you are. Wait and see what happens. All right. Low volume. Well done. Yep, certainly is. Be on in 40 minutes. My pleasure. If my chart's frozen, was the market just not moving? I think my charts are okay, not frozen. DAX is frozen. I think they're all frozen. All right. We'll do the old Disconnect, reconnect. Looks like DAX is going to start pushing down. So finally, it's breaking through some levels. Okay, so I can redo fibs. New extension on, which right now, let's try and get it on quickly. Okay, 141 FESX. So Nazi, there is a potential long now above the 50. Just be careful. This is quite a lot of selling coming in the market. Yep, sounds good. See you then. Might be finally melting. Well done, Dan. Sorry, I was a little. Sorry for the freeze. So, of course, very sideways session. And then, of course, the last 5 minutes or so, 10 minutes, you give me work to do. Or more work to do. I can get rid of that one. Yes. All right, the previous 15-minute low there. 176, we might get a bounce. NASDAQ, you've hit your PP finally, so you might get a little bounce here off that PP. We've got extensions a bit below. All right, Nazi traders, so you can look for a lower low and long off the PP. Now, if you get a climactic candle above the gap, a push down, you can take the climactic reversal. Okay, that is okay as well. Just reminder, we're entering the last 5 minutes of our session. Sometimes I don't want to take a trade, especially if you're in profit. Don't want to give it back. Now, ES, you're failing at Fibonacci extensions, and that is it. So a little push down. Maybe you want to take a climactic reversal too at 14, 914 even. All right, but I leave that up to you. FDAX, that's not going to be efficient or climactic, so I can't really send you short or long. Some of you might look for a push down and fail at that 1618 if that is indeed the one we are failing at. Just trying to check with FESX. So I can take this off. We do have that there as well. So Potentially reversals on all markets here, climactic reversals. So exactly what we said. If it closed above the gap, it's pushed into the gap. The climactic reversal on Nasdaq has paid. ES, exactly as we said, it pushed down. The entry at 14 even long, okay, has paid. FDAX, we probably didn't push down far enough for you. It wasn't climactic, so I couldn't put you in a climactic reversal. I think these reversals may be short-lived. Right, failed at this area a lot. So that was support. Now may become resistance. The Nasdaq might push up to that and continue short. Thanks, Jeff. If it does close back inside that, it's probably safe to assume it's going to continue this ranging. So this big climactic candle here could have just been sweeping liquidity, as I say. What does that mean? It means that there's a lot of stops under that candle, under these candles. So it's just come down, picked up all the stops, and then sending it back long. That's if it comes back inside this market. Otherwise, it may choose to bounce, and this will be the stair step that it needs to continue short. But I think more likely than not, it'll want to come back inside this sideways range, which it has been for the last better half of 2 hours. Same with ES, but we'll wait and see. Now, well done. Good work, Stephen. So I'm glad someone got it. It makes me feel better. But hey, it did exactly what we said on the American markets there. FDAX, we didn't quite get the opportunity. So I think we've navigated it pretty well today. It was a bit of a tricky session at the start. The market was very jumpy. We had to pick the right reversals early on, particularly with FDAX. We had to really be careful which pivot we wanted to take. We managed to pick up some really nice reversals in the end. Nasdaq, ES, we called it. We said it's going to be one of those days where it bounces from fib to fib in between, just ranging. So some people had an absolute field day. Some people got none, and then we got a little bit of cream on top there. Pretty much the most textbook climactic reversal you'll see. It's climactic, failed at a pivot, it pushed into that pivot and then went long. So well done, guys. I think we navigated pretty well overall.
Hey, Cody.
That's it from me. Unfortunately, I can't hear Arlen. I can't hear her wonderful voice, but she's going to come in and take over very soon.
Yes, I am here. I don't know why you can't hear me. That's so
thank you,
odd.
everyone that joined me. It's a lot of fun jumping in on the trading pit when I get the opportunity. So for all those strangers... Oh, she's talking. Okay, I'll shut up. Thank you.
Okay, I am not sure why Cody cannot hear me, but I can hear him. Cody's great. Cody, thank you so much for another wonderful session. Great, guys, great job. I'm really proud of all of you. Two things. So as a little reminder, everyone, we have the Futures promo happening right now. So if you buy your Futures challenge during the month of October, so you have 2 days left, either today or tomorrow, you're going to enjoy a wonderful thing, which is no activation fee. So we will waive your activation fee during when you're going to pass the challenge, even if you pass, next month, the month after that, as long as you bought your challenge during the month of October. So that's wonderful. The second thing, guys and girls, we have tomorrow Halloween. That's wonderful. I don't know if any one of you is planning, to dress up. Anything spooky, anything scary. Check out our page. Maybe on Halloween we're going to have fun things happening. Maybe. I'm not saying more than that. I'm just saying check it out. So thank you again, Cody. Wonderful. Thank you so much, Samurai Day Trading. And I will see you next time. Bye.